What an amazing day. SPY from the low to the high. We actually moved about 10 points intraday. Amazing day. Now you don't have to be catching all 10 points, but in this video, I am going to be showing you how to stop calling for the reversal here and some of the very important techniques you need to know to catch on trades like that and not be calling out for reversals, and how to tell the difference. Now, Discord members, don't forget to be reviewing today's trades. It's a good trading day today. I will run through some of my analysis in this video as well, and congratulations to some of our members here. I just have to give you a big shout out. Fantastic work. Let's just keep going. Members, please don't forget to keep sharing your trades here. Good, bad, we learn them together. What's most important is you must share your trades, so I get to know you a little bit better. When I look at your trades, I know how I can help you in future, and that's very important. It helps you to remain accountable as well. So please share your trade setups and chart them visually as well in the chart. That will be extremely helpful for me. And my guess that you did very well because you also watched this video previously on not catching the reversal. It's very important. You have to watch this, and you've traded long enough in our group, you will understand on the importance of not calling for the reversals. Now today, no difference, right? If you were out calling for the reversal, you will be in deep trouble, and I will talk a little bit about that in this video. But it's also important, firstly, to understand the market context. Right here, I shared it at 8:46 a.m. about why pre-market we were rallying, although we had very strong labor market reports, and I explained it all here. So there were people who were expecting a major sell-off right at the start, and when we had this major sell-off, you can imagine how many puts were stuck in this move right here because they did not understand the very important premise of why we rallied today. So please read this, Discord members. You can pause the video here, take a read of this as well. This was sent at 8:46 a.m. You got a good understanding of the market context. Now thereafter, we also prepared some charts here to understand how we should be preparing to trade here, where the important support and resistance levels were. And today we had to identify this very key support level, this 5-day moving average between this orange and yellow level right here, as well as this 383 pink and yellow level, which turns to be a very strong support level here as well. Now at the start of the day, it's very important that you be patient for some sort of setup and allow structure to come to you. Right at the start, alright, there was a very simple trade here. If you took the retracement of the 5-day moving average, you would have caught a very quick scalp here in the early candles, and thereafter when we started to bounce off very key major levels here. Now, I wouldn't have taken calls here. I would have waited for the test of the 5-day moving average, and we started bouncing off orange level here, and there, this is what we see, right? We started seeing a buying channel starting to form, and we retested the 5-day moving average, bounced right up, and thereafter we never revisited the 5-day moving average. Again, was a very strong support that we were looking out for. I mentioned this also at the start of the day in the 30-minute chart, that if the bulls will want to be defending, they will be defending this 380 and 381 level, exactly where the 5-day moving average is. Now this will be a very important level that we wanted to pay attention to, and we were ready for this at 9:30 a.m. in the morning, and you saw how the bulls were defending this range right here with this rejection thereafter forming this. Now when we come to this very important level, 383 pink and yellow, now we want to be looking out for some sort of structure here, because this is the control zone here. As I was mentioning, we could have some sort of rejection here, which we had right at the start of the day, right? But in this case, we had very strong support, and we started forming a cup here, and we started forming a handle for the cup right here. Now the question is, why is this not a head and shoulder formation? It's very important, and I explained it here, right here in this post. 10:16 a.m. I mentioned if you want to be looking out for the head and shoulder formation, you must wait for the rejection of the 5-day moving average. If the 5-day moving average is not rejected, you cannot be taking puts because it will not be worth it. You want to have a very hard resistance to support your puts on the way down. And in this case, we formed the handle. There was also another play that you could have waited for the retracement of the channel, and that's the retracement of the channel right there. Now, I also explained how do you tell between a head and shoulder formation and a handle, or in this case, the flag. And I mentioned here, right here. Now, if you knew that it's a flag, it will always follow some type of controlled channel. In this case, you notice that there is some sort of selling channel here to form the flag, and we have a resistance level here. So this is not a head and shoulder formation because it's still beautifully in the flag right here before we pushed up. And I explained it here as well in the Discord channel live. Now you have to pay close attention if it follows the channel. It is a flag if it does follow the channel. And take a look. It bounced right off very beautifully off the bottom channel here. And I explained it here as well. Right at the bull flag. In this case, it's a buying movement. So bulls are technically still in control, and therefore the channel, even if it's a selling channel, it's just the buyers having a very controlled buying of the bottom trend line here, and this is why we have to push up, right? So this cannot be seen as a head and shoulder, firstly because of this channel, secondly because we did not even test the neckline, and this neckline did not even turn into some sort of resistance. So if you were to be waiting to take puts, especially with this cup formation that's formed, you have to take your puts after this level here and not catch the top right here, because this is obviously a bullish structure right here. Now, if you manage to catch the calls here, this would have been a good move. It would have been up to this channel, up to where the 20-day moving average was right here. Now, we started chopping at this level right here between yellow and the 20-day moving average, which we needed to be paying attention to. Now, I mentioned here very, very importantly that you cannot be taking puts until we clear yellow. Yellow is a very important level. You cannot be taking puts until you clear yellow. Now, in this case, once again, you notice it looks like a head and shoulder formation, isn't it? But no, once again, we were in this selling channel right here, controlled buying, and therefore this formed a flag, push us out. We did not even break through yellow. So once again, if you want to be taking puts, you see the head and shoulder pattern. Now wait till some sort of retracement of yellow before you do that. Because if yellow turned into some sort of strong support, which it did in this case, because it's a flag, it's a bull flag right here, because it's still in the controlled selling environment where the buyers are still in control. And thereafter, you see we formed a very quick inverse head and shoulder pattern here. Now, I would not have taken my calls here, but I would have taken my calls at this retracement of this pink level here, because this pink level is a previous resistance of the head and shoulder that's formed, and now it's turned into some sort of support. So that's a very good confirmation. Now you notice this happens a lot, right? And I was talking about this in a macro chart as well on the other day, where this head and shoulder formation formed. This has supposed to be a strong resistance, but on the next day it turned into a strong support. So what was previously a strong resistance, if the buyers get in control, they will be in their best interest to want to defend that as a support. Now in this case, you notice the same thing happened again. Now this was a previous resistance. Buyers took control. Now it's in their interest to defend that level if they want it. So we had an inverse head and shoulder pattern here, formed the buying channel off a previous resistance, turned into support, retraced back into major level pink, and it pushed up. Now, it'd be much more helpful if we have key levels like that are just extremely reliable. So it's important to have reliable levels to help you in your charting, to help you in making your trading decisions, as well as you try to identify structure. Now, another very important trade, if you missed it, is that we started forming a buying channel, right? So we started charting this buying channel from here. You could have done that from there. And once we broke through 20-day moving average, look, We retraced it back here. It fell right at the bottom of the buying channel together with a very important support level, which is the 20-day moving average. And we formed an descending wedge that pushed us right out here as well. Now in this video, I talked about that as well, having a very strong support within a channel. So members who were with us for some time and you already knew how to trade this would have been already part of your repertoire of how to trade. Now in this case, we started pushing up and look, we were firmly in the channel. No reason to be taking puts, no reason to be gaming your puts here. Now here only because in Bookmap, we saw Aapl claiming and grabbing all the liquidity from the 130 level and thereafter maybe some selling. But because we're still firmly in the buying channel here, you need to know if you took your puts here, you need to take your profits here, right? That's very important because this is the bottom of the buying channel. So this could be a Bookmap play because of the liquidity that's fully grabbed at 130 for Aapl. And thereafter, the final 10 minutes when we broke through the buying channel, maybe you could have taken a quick scalp here and take a look where it landed perfectly at our pink 387 level right here. So all in all, very interesting day. Now there's just no reason, absolutely no reason to be taking puts. No reason at all, right? So you have to tell yourself, why do you want to be calling for the reversal? And I encourage you to be watching this previous video. I talk a little bit about the mindset as well as also running through some of the technicals on how you can prevent yourself from making the same mistakes again. But this time around, we had market context to support us. We had very reliable levels and macro structure, as well as supported by microstructures to help us in our trade today. So even if you miss calls, very importantly, you should not be taking puts. So even if you did not make a killing today, you should not be losing too much today as well. It's very important that you continue to remain disciplined and objective in how you trade. Now I'm going to run through a little bit more about this on Monday's daily brief, which will be released on Sunday. I want to talk a little bit about the current structure and what to expect for next week, but that for another video on Sunday that will be released. So thank you very much for watching. Please have a good weekend ahead. Thank you very much.